Hello, my name is Tyler Stanley, and for my GSP 530 final presentation, I'll be looking at case study 2 involving collection and sorting of recyclable materials. So for a little background on this case study, it was stated that between 4.8 and 12.7 million tons of plastic waste enter the ocean each year. A lot of this is caused by the lack of proper disposal infrastructure in our local communities. I believe a lot of this can be attributed to the fact that the burden to recycle, to collect and sort recyclable materials falls on the consumer and the end of life manager. So what I propose is a way of making it easier for the end consumer to properly dispose of their packaging waste. And we've seen some developments with this, with the how to recycle labels, but I believe we could build upon that to make it more intuitive and helpful. In addition, we could find ways to improve the cost effectiveness of recycling in the post-consumer end-of-life management space through packaging design. So my proposed solution is to use a form of digital watermarking or a QR code to give all the relevant disposal info and aid recycling sorting by being able to scan a code and essentially get all of the relevant information that you need. Knowledge management plays a big part in making this solution viable. Creating a scannable label that gives the information is incredibly important, and that would require creating a pooled database of packaging materials used by the various stakeholders in the supply chain, as well as assembling all the different rules that apply to the over 9,000 different local recycling programs present in the United States and the specific rules that apply to each one. But I believe this will be worth it because it will add a lot of value for the end consumer who will have access to this disposal information that they don't typically get, as well as the end of life managers, because the packaging waste will become pre-sorted by the consumer, as well as it gives relevant information on packaging materials they are receiving and what they can be used for. This would create shared value, but to accomplish that, you would need to standardize the recycling labels to include these scannable codes across all industries. However, mitigating improper disposal of packaging waste and allowing for more effective recycling for particular reuse purposes would create circularity in the packaging value chain, which is an important trend to build upon so that these post-consumer materials can be efficiently turned into usable raw materials for the right purpose. Inspiration from above would be a big part of making the solution a reality. And the way to make that happen would be to use high leverage stakeholders to lead the way. And I believe a primary high leverage stakeholder targeted would be retailers. They have a lot of leverage in the value chain due to their proximity to the customer and also the amount of revenue they create. It could require suppliers to include these recycle codes on the products that they're buying. In addition, packaging manufacturers could act as leaders in making this scannable code a part of their standard process of creating products. In the end, the value added here would be that these key industry stakeholders would introduce consumers to this solution on a large format, and they would also cause smaller players in the industry to follow them. Clusters would also be incredibly important, not only in the introduction of the solution, but the development as well. Collaborating with various packaging clusters would be helpful, and using the plethora of knowledge that they have in their particular industries would be a good way to fine tune the solution so that it would be pragmatic for use. So leveraging their existing connections in the industry would help the immediate introduction, but it would also allow the end of life managers to have useful information. So in summation, creating a smart label for recycling packaged goods could have benefits up and down the value chain. Importantly, incorporating key value chain stakeholders for defining what information is necessary to make the solution effective will be very important to making this something that can actually catch on. And in the end, the value chain is about delivering value to the consumer. And I believe that this is a good way for the consumer to be more involved in what they're buying and where it's going, and taking a bigger role in the disposal of the goods that they're buying.